All right, well, welcome back, everybody. This is Music Talk. I'm Dave,
I'm Mike.
and this week we are doing a great CD. This is none other than Silk Sonic. That's right, baby.
Yep, there you go.
I love it, man. You know how I am about people putting their faces on covers, but you know what? I'm gonna give it the exception on this one because them two cats look so cool right there. If I look that cool, I'd put my face on there too. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it looks straight out of the '70s, man.
I'm
Right out of
telling you,
Mod
man.
Squad.
So it's called An Evening with Silk Sonic with Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak with special guest Bootsy Collins. You got to look close there. They didn't put a picture of Bootsy on there, but fortunately, since Bootsy's a uh, inspiration to me, I've got a picture of Bootsy that I can show you right there. There's my boy Bootsy right there. That's right, baby. Got to have Bootsy on here.
P
So,
Funk.
yeah, bro. I love me some Bootsy, man. I always have. So the album covers not a whole lot. It's got Blast Off with Silk Sonic on the back.
Hmm.
The inside, you don't get the words, but you don't really need them, man, because it's nice and clear. You can understand everything they say. It does
Yep.
tell you who plays what on there and who wrote the songs and produced everything and the cast of members that were on it. The CD itself, I'm not quite sure why they put this on there, but it's a peacock. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to show off their feathers or something. I don't know. It's a weird CD cover.
Might
And
have
I'm,
something to do. Might have something to do with the the record label name or whatever they're trying to use.
yeah, it could be. And on the back, you get a picture of Bruno and Anderson and a picture of Bootsy.
There you
There
go.
you go. So it's pretty cool. Um, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I can't dance because I'm white, but if I could, I'd been shaking all over this one, man, because this thing had me grooving from the time I dropped the needle to the time I took it out.
Hmm.
I mean, this is one great CD. It starts off with Silk Sonic intro, which is basically Bootsy talking about, Silk Sonic, and he actually named him, and
Yeah.
he says it in there.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one drawback that I have about this record is this first song. It had me ready, man. I mean, they had the horns blasting, blam. You got the intro, ladies and gentlemen, Silk Sonic, and then they drop it down and play the slow song. You
Hmm.
know, which I was wishing if they would have put "Fly as Me" right after that intro, it would have been perfect.
Or 777.
777, one of them, man. But they got me all hyped. I pumped up. I got my drink. I'm heading to the front of the stage, and then they knocked me down with a slower song. But that's all right because I love it. The second song was "Leave the Door Open," and I'm sure everybody's heard that one. It's been out for a while. And to me, man, that was definitely old school R&B. Um, you had some really awesome vocals in it. The whole thing, the horns, the music, the recording of it, it was fantastic.
Yep.
When they go into that breakdown, though, it reminded me a lot of Stevie Wonder when he does that la 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 la. I mean, it was totally like Stevie Wonder to me.
Yeah, well, and throughout the whole album, I heard a lot of references and a lot of cliche-ish sounds. I heard some Ohio players. I heard,
Yeah,
uh, I James Brown. I mean, they
yeah,
had that going on a
yep.
little bit. I mean, it wasn't a direct takeoff of James Brown, but it certainly put that into your head. You know,
Now,
and
but yeah, I mean, truly, I mean, it's all there. I mean, it to me, it's a '70s album with modern stylings, modern words, modern stylings. But man, great! It's a great CD. There's later on, I'm going to talk about something else that bothered me about the record, but that's it. There's only two things that bothered me. One was I wish they would have gave me an upbeat song on number two after that great intro, because I mean that intro, dude, I was like, and then they would drop that one on me. But it was good. It was still good. So then number three is Fly as Me. And man, I mean, come on, Fly as Me. I mean, seriously, right? I mean, if you weren't singing that song riding down the street, there ain't never a song to sing. I mean,
Right.
you know, uh, that one, 70s funk all the way. The video actually had excerpts of Roller Boogie from the 70s with Linda Blair. I don't know if you
Oh yeah.
saw any of these videos, but uh, I mean, it had the P Funk, the Sly, all of it going on. But one thing about it, man, is he was hitting that ride cymbal. And man, I love the sound that ride was making. I don't know if you caught that, man, but he was
I
nailing that.
caught a little bit of it. Now, the only thing, and this is probably the only knock I've got on the whole album. They talked about how they spent a lot of time looking for the vintage drum heads to make the drums sound from that era.
Mhm.
I understand that theory, but I got to say, there were a couple of songs I really didn't like the sound of the snare.
Yeah.
It was a little too boxy, mushy.
Yeah.
Wasn't enough, wasn't enough zing to it. I mean,
I think a lot of times the drums kind of were out in front a little much, but
well,
not
yeah,
not too bad. I mean, I loved it, so it didn't bother me.
right.
I didn't find anything. I loved the sound that he was getting on that ride, though, man. And I mean, Anderson can play the drums.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
he's a good
dude's
player,
got a
very good.
pocket, man.
Oh yeah,
So I was really enjoying that. And then we get to number 4, which is called After Last Night. And that one's got a Thundercat in it, and they're doing 3-part harmonies the whole song, and it is fantastic. You
yeah,
also got, Bootsy in there narrating it a little bit, and at one point he's like, sookie, sookie, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, uh, Bootsy, I mean, I can't say enough about Bootsy, man, because I really he has inspired me my whole bass playing career. So
mm,
I was ecstatic to see him on here. And I
yeah,
mean, he's been on a lot of stuff anyway. I mean, he's done stuff for Snoop and you know, after his 70s and 80s stuff, he's done stuff in the 90s and everything. But man, I mean, after last night, it's one of them R&B slow, drop the lights down. You know what I'm saying? It's got the reminds you of like some Teddy Pendergrass music or something. You're definitely getting your sexy on. I mean, gosh, what a song, man. Had had Bootsy in there doing his thing. I just loved it, man. I thought it was great. And
yeah,
then we get to number 5, Smoking Out the Window, which we watched that video. It didn't I was gonna post a video of us watching the video, but it's so many people doing it now. I just said I'm not even going to post it because there's 50 of them out there of people doing a
right,
reaction on it.
right.
So I just figured, what the heck, we'll just talk about it. And this one, man, I think this is the only one that Anderson didn't play drums on the record.
Huh.
Somebody else was playing the drums on this one, and I guess it's because they wanted to concentrate on maybe being able to do it live. Maybe I don't know,
Huh.
but he could have done it live and singing because the stuff I've seen him do, he doesn't miss a lick. But there's a couple things about the video that was really funny, like when they were puffing on their cigarettes, you could tell that they don't smoke the cigarettes because the way they were hitting them is like, yeah, these guys don't really smoke these cigarettes. So
Yeah, but that was one thing that that I did. I was doing some research, trying to find out who else was on the album and stuff. And I got to tell you, it's hard to find that information unless you buy the CD or the album. It's not a whole lot out there other than about Bruno
yeah,
or Anderson,
right.
and and of course Bootsy.
Well,
But
yeah. Well, D Miles does a lot on it. He's the producer and the songwriter, so he's
right,
playing a lot of the instruments
right.
himself.
But
So,
the thing that I was going to say is in trying to research, I came across some reviews and they're like, "Don't watch the videos, just listen to it."
see, that's why
And
you don't listen to other people's reviews. Listen
and
to the Music Talk reviews because we give it to you real, man. You know what I'm saying? We
well, that's
bring
what
it.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all I did was listen to it, and it took me. I'm telling you right now, 70s all over
Well,
it, and it just took me right back to the day,
I
of
I,
of
I
of,
think
of, of
some of
getting
the
in trouble.
right and right. I think some of the reviews, I don't know. I didn't watch any reviews, but I can imagine that people are jealous of this because these guys are doing it, man. I mean, they're doing it from they're doing everything. This is real.
Well,
There's no auto tune. This is all instruments. I mean, recorded right there in the studio. They're playing it and they're singing it. The vocals are just unbelievable on this record.
well,
You know,
here's the thing, and we've talked about this before. You know, this generation now, they're about the real music. They're not about all this sampling and all that stuff that's been going on for the past 25 years or
to an
so.
extent, to
Yeah,
an extent, I agree with you.
yeah.
But there's still a bunch of them that are falling for the auto tune, you know,
Well,
drum
and
machine crap.
that's why I don't want to review any of their albums. I don't
Yeah,
want to listen to it because
yeah.
if you got to use auto tune to sing, you can't sing.
I don't
Sorry.
mind reviewing them because I'll trash them, and then people tell me I'm stupid. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I,
But
I'll
this one
just say,
here, man, for them to tell you not to watch the video, that's just dumb because this
but
video was great. This is a
oh,
great video.
oh, they said
Smoking.
that the videos were good. They were just saying, don't watch the videos, listen to the music first, and then
Uh,
go back and watch it with the videos.
well, you
You
go
know,
on there,
and
go back on their website and leave a review and tell them to shut the hell up because they don't know what they're talking about, man. Honestly, I mean, I watched the videos, I've listened to the music, and then I loved it. I love the videos. I love the CD. It wouldn't matter to me. You know, the smoking out the window reminded me a lot of like the Spinners or something. You
yeah,
know, the way they were doing the dancing and the vocals, and I love the interplay between Anderson and Bruno. They were
mhm.
playing off each other vocally, and man, at the end, when Bruno hits those notes, he's killing it at the end, man. I mean, that high
Oh
falsetto,
yeah.
man.
But they, you know, it's interesting too the way these two got together. You know, Anderson Paak was opening up for Bruno Mars, and they
Hmm.
became friends on the road
Yeah.
and started palling around and doing stuff. And then that's how this was way back 2017, I guess. And now, you know, they decided, hey, let's just do a retro album. You know, and
Well,
that's
"Smoking Out the Window" was the first song they wrote, and that was
yeah,
a year and a half ago.
right.
And they started on it a year and a half ago because of COVID, you know.
Mhm.
And I saw an interview with both of them talking, and man, I mean, they love each other, and the admiration that each has for each other is crazy. They're great together. They're funny. They joke on each other. It's just like me and you sitting around just ragging on each other. That's the way they were.
Mhm.
So I think they're going to be a combo for a while. I like this collaboration, and I hope they do more.
Well, they've been picked to do the Grammys. Um,
I
um,
hope they do the Super Bowl.
they're
This is
also going
kind
to
of
do,
stuff I
yeah, I did,
want.
yeah. They've already done, what was it, Billboard and
Mhm.
a couple of other things, and they've been picked to be the featured act on.
Dude,
I think it's the Grammy.
I think Bruno Mars should be the act on everything. I don't get tired of Bruno. I mean,
No,
he was my favorite Super Bowl halftime.
oh yeah,
He's always killing it on the Grammys. He brings this old school back, and that's what they were even talking about in the interview is like they're trying to keep the music alive.
well that's
You
it,
know,
and that's
no
what
auto tune, all real instruments. They're playing all these instruments
right,
themselves. Basically, they have
exactly.
a couple other dudes in and out, but I mean,
Exactly. You know, and that's what I'm saying is that there's, you know, this new generation is going for it. I mean, they
yeah.
want it.
Well,
They're
if you don't
the
like
album.
this CD, there ain't nothing you'll like.
Yeah. I mean, you go to any of your record stores, whatever, if you got one in your area, and watch people that are walking in and out, and go in and ask the owner, say, you know, what are you selling the most of right now? And they'll tell you it's the old classic rock and roll and and
Yeah,
and, and R&B.
yeah,
It's not the new stuff.
yeah. Well, the vinyl's bringing everything back, so that's good.
Yeah.
So number 6, we get to it's called "Put a Smile On," or "Put on a Smile." I mean, and
Well, it's
this
out to
one,
put a smile on my face.
this is a great song. I mean, he said he actually called Babyface up, and he came over and worked with him a little bit on this one.
Huh, cool.
Um, and you could tell too that there's some, especially in the choruses, some of it reminds us a little bit of how Babyface would approach it.
Right.
But this one here is another great vocal, and I love the way they do the U's in there. Uh,
Hmm.
they're the you, and all that. But at the end, man, when Bruno holds that note on that, when he says dying, and he held that note, and if you listen close, I mean, there's barely any fluctuation that he holds that note so daggum good. It's almost too perfect. And then
Yeah.
he just
Yeah.
hits that high falsetto again, and it's like, man, I mean, Bruno to me is just amazing anyway. And then you throw Anderson in there with his raspy voice, and it's just fantastic, man. You know, so I just love that. That was a great song. And then you get to the seventh song, which I'm glad they took note of the time or the actual placement of this song. The song's called 777, and they put it number seven. If they
Uh-huh.
would have put it at any other number, I would have been mad, right?
Oh, come on. It's number three. Yeah.
No, you can't do that. So I want to thank them for putting 777 as the seventh song, because that would have been one of them OCD things for me that would have drove me crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But
three times seven is 21. That's a winner in blackjack.
I guess you could have put it at number three, because it would have been three sevens, right?
Yeah,
So
three sevens,
yeah.
21.
So if you get the uncut version of this one, it's got a couple of words in here you might not want to let your children say, even though they probably say it anyway. But great funk, remind me a lot of James Brown here. Uh, Modern twist on the 70s again with the vocal styling and the word phrases and stuff. I mean, just straight 70s with modern style stuff, man. Great song. I loved it. It's really funky. I've been singing it and batting my head to it. The drum beat is ridiculous on this one. I mean, I'd never be able to play that one. It's got that syncopated rim shot stuff going on in there, and just unbelievable. Then we get to number eight, is called Skate. And the first time I heard it, I was kind of iffy on this one, but the more I heard it, the better I liked it. And then, they were kind of talking about this song. They wanted to make it feel like if you were going to have a skate party, what would you bring to the party? So they
Uh-huh.
brought out the Congos and all that, and had a bunch of people skating. But it was a good one too. It reminds me a little bit of Stevie Wonder's again. Brings that in there. Old school R&B for sure. Definitely felt like I was at a skate party. You know.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and then the last song is number nine, which they were talking about it, that they wanted to set up the album where you had the intro and then you blast off at the end. And that's the last song is called Blast Off. And
Yep.
it's a great ending to the album. Um, to me, I mean, that's the way you want to send it off. You want to take a little something to put you into outer space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So uh, then you got Bootsy again on there talking to you, and you're feeling it and all that. And then this guitar solo comes in, and it reminds me of Prince, like a Prince song when he hits that guitar solo. And I didn't even know it until today that Bruno played that guitar solo. So I thought that was cool. I mean, to me, it reminded me of, it wasn't so much that the song sounds like Prince, it's just the transition from the big vocals into that guitar sound reminded me of what Prince would do, because it had that guitar sound.
Yep.
But
Yep.
man, I mean, I can't get enough of this record. I'm telling you, I mean, it's a great album. I love the sound of it. I liked everything about it. I mean, I can see where you were talking about some of the snare might have been a little bit for you. The vocal work, though, is just incredible. There's a lot of times it reminds me of Earth, Wind, and Fire vocals.
Mhm.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
capturing those big
Right.
six,
That
seven,
and the
six, seven
Ohio
part
players.
harmonies at some points.
Yeah. And they captured some of the Ohio players and stuff. I mean, all those bands in that era were going for that. They had the big horn sections, like Tower of Power or whatever.
Hmm.
And yeah, and one thing I found interesting too, in researching around Anderson Paak, he got a bunch of tattoos put on his chest of these old, like James Brown and
You should.
Prince and
I'm gonna tell you what, man.
I think it was Marvin Gaye, and there was one other. I can't think of who it was. It was four people altogether. He got tattooed on his chest.
Well, if those guys were all still alive, and if any of them are, they probably have Anderson Pack tattooed on them. I'm just saying. My final note on this was right. This is my final note right here.
uh-huh. Had my ass grooving. There you
It
go.
had my ass grooving, man. I mean, this whole album was nothing but a groove fest to me. I loved it. I can definitely feel some of the Bootsy influence in there. I mean, the bass was, I the bass was good. The sound, sometimes I felt like it wasn't as it was kind of, I mean, it had the traditional Jamerson sound, right? I mean, it was there, solid bass, but I wish there would have been a couple times where they put more of a high end in there on it, because it was
I,
real bassy. But
yeah, I noticed on my system that there were a couple of songs that were had those real sub lows happening. It
yeah,
wasn't a lot, but it did happen, and it's like,
it just sounded like real muffled and not muffled, but compressed bass, a little bit.
well, I think they were going for there again that 70s sound.
Right. They wanted the Jamerson sound, and I mean, they got it for sure. And I'm
Jazz,
not knocking it at all, trust me, because I
jazz
loved it.
bass and an SVT. I mean,
Yeah. Well, he's actually using a Fender, I think, a you know,
yeah, well,
Baseman hit on there, I think. I mean, maybe not. Who knows?
could go, yeah, I can see that.
But man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm putting this record at a 9.1 for me
Mhm.
because I loved it so much. I mean, it's a 9.1 for me.
Yeah,
I had a two knocks on it, which there really aren't knocks. It was just me, my opinion, and my preference. It wasn't bad. I just wish they would have had me. They would have hit me with the song number two. They should have kept me pumping because they pumped me up. They should have kept me pumped up for at least two songs. But it's okay that they didn't. I felt the groove. I was still on it. I was happy with it. Um, this album, man, comes in for the year for me. It's like, probably the second of the best album we've heard this year, in my opinion.
well, I
Uh,
saw where they
Close
said
to the first.
I saw where they when they released it, they expected it to be number two on the charts, only to be beaten by Taylor Swift at number one. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
But
I hope we
but
get. I
anyway,
hope we get to review her.
yeah.
God, I hope.
I'm gonna put it at a 9.4.
9.4. I
Yeah.
know, man. It's up there, man. I
It's
probably.
I didn't have the inclination at any point to reach over and skip a song. It's one of these things. It's like I would love to have it and stick it in the CD player in the car and just take off driving.
Yeah, I did all week. I
You
mean,
know,
and it's kind of a short CD, so it's probably, I don't know, 40 minutes,
yeah. But you know
maybe
what? You know what
45.
it's going to do though. That short 40 minutes going to get people to go out there and start searching up for some Earth, Wind, and Fire and stuff, and start bringing that stuff back out again, man.
You know what I did? I just listened to it twice. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
40 minutes, I'll just play it again.
yeah,
I mean, I was enjoying it, man. I mean, I felt there were times on this record where I was so comfortable with it that I knew when those hits were coming. I knew when they were going to pop something, and I mean, on the first listen, it was so good to me. So, I mean, I'm like, bah, 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 you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Felt the whole thing, man. It was just, this one connected with me. I loved it. I loved everything about it. There is one more thing I was going to say that I wish, and if they go further, I hope they don't continue this, but there was 5 songs out of the really 8 songs, because the intro I don't really count. So out of the 8 songs, 5 of them had the same formula where Anderson would sing and then Bruno would do the chorus. And then Anderson would sing, Bruno would do the chorus. So it's not a knock. I just wish they wouldn't have done that for so many of the songs, because I thought that it was kind of a formula that they got locked into for a minute. But
I can understand why though. I mean,
yeah.
it's just like with the Beatles. I mean, Lennon sang most of their songs.
Hmm.
McCartney was there to double his vocals or back him up.
Yeah. I just felt like I just didn't want to get into that formula too much,
Yeah,
because it's like once you like 5 songs, they did it. And I mean, I expected it to happen after the third one. I'm like, okay, so every one they're going to let Anderson do the verses, and then
right.
Bruno's going to come in on the chorus. But they switched up the verses as well. But and I'm not knocking it for that, honestly. I ain't taking any points off of it. It's just I just hope they don't keep doing that every time they do another song. Just
Right.
you know. But anyway, I loved it. It had my ass grooving from the time it dropped till the time I mean I've had it in the CD player since we got it.
Well,
I haven't taken it out. So until today, because I wanted to show y'all the peacock. That was it. If I didn't want to show you the peacock, it'd still be in my CD player. but I like to give you the whole review of the whole CD, the package, and everything. Which, by the way, it's not cracked. It didn't come in cracked, and it's all in one piece. So they did good on this one. You know,
They use ballistic sleeves.
yeah. Well, it's made in, it was made in Germany, man. You know, it was made like a tank.
There
You
you
know?
go. There you go. Well, I've just got to say again, I really love the album. I'm glad to see stuff like this coming around.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm up here in the Pacific Northwest, and believe me, when you get down into Portland, Oregon, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to hear blues and R&B. You go out
Yeah.
here to get a live band.
Yeah.
You're going to hear some jazz, but the blues and the R&B is what's going strong down there, and I loved it. It just it's 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 just that kind of music where once you get into playing this stuff, you don't have to think about it. You play from your heart, and it
Yeah.
just comes together, man. It just rolls right off your sleeve, you know.
It's feel good music, man. I
Yep.
mean, you got your up dance music, and then you got your slow, sexy time music, and I mean, it's everything you could want in a CD, really. So anyway, we'll wrap it up there. I gave it a 9.1. I'll probably give it more than that at the end of the year when we go to do our sum up of the year. I'll probably pick it up a little. Mike gave it a 9.4. Probably both of us are low. We could have probably bumped it up another notch or two. I would suggest go out and tell people to go out and check out some Anderson Paak stuff. He's got some stuff out with the Free Nationals. I mean, check him out. Great dude. I know everybody's heard of Bruno, but go check out Anderson Paak. He's a great dude, great drummer.
Yep.
So and that's about it. You know, get it. You're gonna love it. I loved it. And I mean, how can you go wrong, baby? You got Bootsy. You know,
Just hope you got something in your cup.
got to put some in your cup, baby, and it'll take you to the astrofield. Anyway, all right. Well, until next time, y'all stay safe.
That's right. Peace out and listen to the music.